Hey guys, this is Jabron at the Keto Podcast. We got Jake Karls with us today, man. Thank you so much for joining me. He's the co-founder of Midday Squares, and yeah, man, tell me. I'll first kind of explain to everyone how we met each other. I discovered Midday Squares at Target, and immediately I was like, what is this? Picked it up. I was like, let me try these, man. And I saw the satisfying hunger label on the package. I was like, dude, I need this. I work remotely. I snack too much. I do go to the gym, but I snack too much. So it's like kind of like ruins those gym times I do. And posted you guys, found your Instagram. I was like, this is unique. Posted the Instagram story. And you immediately sent me a video message, and that immediately made me a fan. I was like, dude, like this co-founder sent me a message, like a video message on Instagram. This is the coolest thing ever. Like, wow, I feel connected. And that's like a true a true CEO or co-founder executive. When they do something like that, that customer, becomes a fan. And so yeah, it's a very interesting story how we met, man. And I've been a fan ever since. Have these midday squares all the time. Have some in my fridge right now. But yeah, go ahead, and we'll get to that in a minute. But go ahead and like introduce yourself. And yeah, man, tell us what you do.
Yo, love that. I love that that was our initial marriage, let's call it, together. And I think that, today we see unfortunately less and less of, human connection being done through brands. It's all transactional, I feel like. And I think, with the digital age, with social media and with all these platforms, you have as a brand, you have an opportunity to actually communicate and have real conversations in real time with fans or with, customers. And for us, our thesis since day one of building this business was, let's focus on building friends or fans rather than customers. And how do we do that? We believe in good communication, have fun with each other, and speak about like other things, not just about, okay, you bought our product, great, blah, blah, blah. No, like let's actually have a normal conversation. And
Mhm.
that's worked to our favor. We launched Midday Squares in August 4th, 2018 in Montreal, Canada. And it was me, my sister, my brother-in-law. And the idea was we wanted to build the next largest chocolate snacking CPG company. And the idea was, what would Hershey's, Mars, Mondelez, Lindt, Ferrero look like if they started today? That was the
Mhm.
mission we want to create. We want to be the next legacy brand, the next big CPG chocolate company. And we want to do it in two ways: create better for you, unbelievable functional products. And the second way is to build true fandom. What I mean by
Mhm.
true fandom is that people that actually care and obsess over the brand. My role in the company is, yeah, I'm one of the co-founders, but I go by chief rainmaker, let's call it. And the idea is I focus on bringing in relationships to the business. So whether that be journalists, retailers, investors, new team members, I consistently focus on how do we get the attention of those people and
Yeah.
then build those friendships to then bring them into the company.
Yeah, that's incredible. And you say Rainmaker, and it's quite unique because um you do a lot of like creative things that a lot of people don't do, like a CEO, co-founders, whatever, like from like I've seen just stuff on social media like dancing warm-ups to hyping people that like the hell up on before meetings, or like like you said, it's interesting because you work with kind of your family, in a way, like your sister who's a CEO, correct? And all that kind of stuff. So then you guys do like you do like therapy sessions. So what kind of inspired you to kind of take this kind of awesome creative out of the box idea?
So two things. When we launched, we knew that chocolate was the most saturated. Chocolate and protein bars, let's call it, were a very, very saturated industry category, let's call it.
Yeah.
And we needed to not just stand out with an amazing product that had product market fit, but we needed to gain the attention of the customer. In today's world, attention is probably the most valuable asset. It's something that's very hard to achieve. Consumers today choose who, what, when, why they're giving their attention to, and they're very careful who they do. So you can't just throw out advertisements and flood it everywhere and expect to get their attention. You
Hmm.
need to truly add value to their lives or emotionally connect with them. So we launched the brand, I suggested to my partners, I said, we need to make noise. We need to make noise in a very different way. So when people go to the grocery stores like Target with 40,000 other products on the shelf, ours needs to stick out shining like a bright diamond, where
Hmm.
when you go see it, you're like, oh shit, I know that company. I love them. I feel like I'm a friend of theirs or a family member. And my proposal was, well, why don't we utilize storytelling via social media to allow the consumer to be part of the journey? So showing them everything that is going on in the company, that, like, let's open the curtain, show them the good, the bad, the ugly, therapy sessions, breakdowns, hires, fires, moments of crazy success, raising money, legal battles, all this stuff that you never get to see in a company. Let's show it in a very raw, unfiltered version. When we start to do that alongside a very great product that was built all through data, was we start to see this white space of success, because consumers start to fall in love not just with the product, but they wanted to tell people about this crazy brand that they're watching, how they're like, it's like this reality show on entrepreneurship. Similar, like, imagine Shark Tank meets Kardashians meets Elon Musk in terms of like boldness. And yeah, that's when we launched it. But the first thing we did that's unique to what our business is, and this is for anyone going into business with family is, or close friends, is we decided to see a therapist once a week, mandatory in good or bad times. And the reason being is, partnerships are very fragile. Relationships are very fragile, and communication is the most important part of a relationship or a partnership. And if you don't have strong communication and trust, you're finished. And most companies, startups, fail not because of the product or because capital. They actually fail because of founder conflict. So when we went into business, we said, we will see a therapist no matter what, in whatever moment it is, good or bad times, all together, to understand each other, work on communication, become better leaders. And it has been the greatest asset to date that we have.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible. And that's what caught my eye too. Just like the real kind of, I feel like I'm with you. Like whenever I go to social media, I share people, we feel like we're with you in the office, like it's a very personal thing. And what kind of drove you guys to add this kind of element of storytelling? Because it's like a whole new thing, that you guys kind of started in a way. And hopefully,
yeah, dude, the goal was simply like, we needed to break through a saturated category. And if you looked at the data from the TV ratings from Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and you looked at the TV ratings of Shark Tank and Elon Musk's social media following growing, you saw that they all had this massive growth or massive success. And what I noticed is people like drama from Kardashians. They like the idea of entrepreneurship from Shark Tank. And then they like the boldness of unapologetic Elon Musk. And I said, what if we just made the baby of these three things, where we took drama like a family business, that we have drama, we could share that. Then we took the idea of Shark Tank because it was being celebritized in terms of entrepreneurship, but we show everything behind entrepreneurship, like literally the moments of huge success and huge failure. And then we take the idea of just being three bold founders that are very unapologetic. Then we'll build fans. And that's what was happening. We started to build fandom, and slowly but surely, social Instagram started picking up, then LinkedIn, then Instagram, then TikTok. And the next thing you know, like, it's driving millions of views. So organically. And I think that that's built our brand and got us the awareness, got us into Target, nationwide, because of the brand has equity now.
Yeah, that's incredible. And going to Target, that's a huge retailer. It's, everyone loves going to Target. It's an experience, and that's kind of how I discovered you guys. Like, could you give us like maybe just like a brief rundown of how you guys got into Target in the first place?
So Target was actually a year and a half in the making, and they are a super amazing team of people. We went through 3 buyers till we got to the last one, which is the current one today. But the 3 buyers were unbelievable. Each one of them we had a personal relationship with, that we built as a friendship first, rather than just doing business. And then when Target was finally ready to pull the trigger, they actually gave us a national rollout, because they believed in Midday Squares. They believed in our vision. They believed in our story, and they wanted to support us as a brand. So I give them total credit and shout out to them as a retailer for wanting to partner and collaborate with Midday Squares. And, right now, the last couple of weeks, when we started, we started selling decently. And then 6 weeks later, we were up like, 400 or 500% from the beginning. So the units have gone up tremendously. And again, the communication with Target, the partnership is just so fantastic. And I think that, every retailer, I wish I had a relationship similar to that, where it feels like I'm talking to a friend. It feels like I'm talking to family, yet we're still doing, serious business together. And anyone that wants to get into any retailers, build a consumer base that wants your product in that store. That's number one. Number two, build a relationship with your buying team and your brokers and your distributors. And then the third thing is tell a great story that will get media attention, because people are on their phones for entertainment. So entertain them and add value, and I promise you'll get noticed.
Yeah, those are three very crucial points, especially in today's time with, consumerism and just like overreaching and being cold rather than warm, and building relationships and things like that. It's really interesting. So going to your LinkedIn, I was got kind of browsing through. It's quite incredible. And I saw in your bio, it says you have two things you must know about me. Number one, uh, basically you're like a modern day Willy Wonka. And then number two, you have this motto is get comfortable being uncomfortable. Kind of explain those 2 points.
Yeah, modern day Willy Wonka is just my personality. I love the energy of Willy Wonka, and we own a chocolate factory and a chocolate
Yeah,
company,
yeah.
so it applies. So it's just good spirits, and then get comfortable with uncomfortable. I realized that early on in this journey that the moment you step into these zones of discomfort,
Mhm.
that's where you get your best chance of being an outlier or having, whether that's good or bad, you're going to become an outlier. And I think that moment is when I realized that no matter how nervous I am, no matter how much I don't want to do something, I always try, because you never know what's on the other side of that. And I think greatness
Yeah.
is usually on the other side, and you build your character. So I always say, practice building, training that muscle to put yourself in those zones of
Mhm.
discomfort, because it's the muscle. It's just strength. It's like working out. It's like lifting weights. You get stronger and stronger, and when that muscle gets stronger and stronger, you'll start to put yourself in zones that you never would have thought you'd be in, and that's where the serendipity or the magic actually happens.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. That's incredible tips. And going to the Willy Wonka thing, what's quite impressive as well is that you guys kind of started things from scratch. I mean, from the factory, make building your own factory and things like that. Like, what was the reason for that? Was it just like, yeah, explain kind of that process, how everything was just built from the ground up.
So when we started, we were making the midday squares in my sister and my brother-in-law's condo kitchen. We were making about 80 bars a day, and we were
Oh
hustling all
wow.
day. Yeah, from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. Literally just making, our bodies were so tired, injured, and then we'd go hand deliver those products from 5 p.m. till 10 p.m. every night, and it was just rinse and repeat. Finally, as demand grew, we needed more space, so we moved into a small commercial kitchen, and we just hired a bunch of people to help us make the bars. But at that time, we realized that in order to scale this business, we were going to either need to go to a co-manufacturer, which is what most 90% of food companies do, is they third party their manufacturing
Mhm.
to these big companies that just do it. Um, or we'll have to build it ourselves. And we went to 26 of the best co-manufacturers in North America and Europe. And each one of them told us that they weren't able to scale this product. They weren't able to make this product. So they said either you change it or you go do it yourself. And we ended up saying, you know what? We're going to stay true to what we believe in, stay true to our gut, and find the money. We needed $4 million to go build it. And we went and built this factory where I'm currently sitting in the other room, in the backside. There's a whole factory, the Willy Wonka factory. And yeah, that took 4 years, man. It wasn't, Rome wasn't built in a day. Midday Squares wasn't built in a day, but it still has a lot of improvements. But we are, I think, 90% automated. So we could do up to up to 70 million of output a year. So almost 90,000 bars per day. So 80.
Wow, that's crazy. That's wow. That's like bigger than Willy Wonka, man. The
It
only
is.
thing missing is the Oompa Loompas, but I guess that's a good thing. You don't, you don't.
Yeah, yeah, it's missing. That's missing for sure.
Yeah. Cool, man. That's incredible. So going to, fighting obstacles. There's been I've seen some stuff like with about like from Hershey's to like packaging issues and things like that. So how do you guys like fight obstacles on a daily basis at Mid Squares? Because it
I
seems like you guys are always positive, when you battle
I
these
think
things.
I think it's like it's consistent war. It's we're
Mhm.
warriors here. Everyone in Midday Squares, all their teammates are warriors. They fight for what they believe in, what we believe in, and the grand vision of being the next biggest chocolate company. So when we have these hurdles, it's just another mountain to climb, and we've climbed so many in the past that like it's almost nothing's really impossible. That being said, if we were to fail, you're going to have to drag us off this hill, because we're all willing to die on that hill. And I think that
Mhm.
that's super important. So the grit, the resilience, the energy and momentum here is quite incredible. Even during hard times, every day is a hard time. We all have a problem every single day. There is something bad that happens every day. Something doesn't work out. We don't get a retail. We miss a revenue. Let's call it. We have a legal battle. Our machines break down. Something always goes wrong, but this team is extremely resilient, extremely dedicated and loyal to this vision. Yeah, they're superstars, and I think that that's a testament to building a good company culture and a good brand.
Yeah, that's super incredible, man. I mean, when you said Warriors, I was picturing you guys can do an ad one day. It's like Gladiator or something, you have you're like going into battle or whatever. But yeah, man, going into, you know, the creative direction, like what was kind of unique is having, I think what caught my eye when I first saw midday squares, of course it was in the fridge section, which is not, there's not many chocolates, and there's a couple of other ones, but
Yeah.
I was like, wow, what is this? I just happened to see it and just caught my eye because of the chocolate bar was actually on the label. um Kind of tell me your approach with like it's very visual and things like that. What kind of made you guys do that?
Well, we realized that like people want to see what they're eating, right? So
Hmm.
yeah, we put front and center the bar itself, the square, the chocolate square, the double stack layer, the innovation that we've created. And the reason being is we want the consumer to get hungry when they see it, pumped, see exactly what they're going to have. And I think that that was super important for us to sell more products, but also get customers the transparency, because a lot of brands put all this other junk on photos or whatever it is, and no one knows what they're having until they open it up, and it looks like it came from a junkyard, right? So for us, it was like, can we give them that clear visual on it? And I think that was super important. And also, we called it midday squares because, inspired by 5 Hour Energy, is we wanted the customer to know why we built the product. We built it as an afternoon chocolate snack to carry you through. So it's square format, and you eat it midday. Not to say you can't eat it in the morning or nighttime, but we were just like, let's give it to the customer when they should eat it. Let's tell them. Let's guide them, because we all have midday cravings for something sweet, and this is a perfect alternative to an after lunch snack.
Yeah, that's and if people question right now, there's proof. I mean, it works for me. I have it right after lunch. Good for like a couple hours. Can go to the gym. I actually eat it before the gym. I'll have like a banana with it or something. But man, after that workout, I'm not hungry until dinner. So
Maybe
anyone,
that's why you look so good.
yeah, I appreciate it, bro. Yeah, it's crazy. So going to the entrepreneurship side of things, like what got you into entrepreneurship, and how did you kind of how do you, what are maybe some like three values you kind of follow as an entrepreneur?
So yeah, I think a couple things. So I've done entrepreneurship for about 10 years almost. I failed at two businesses previous. One was in the fitness space, one was in the clothing and entertainment space. This one's currently working. Doesn't mean it's going to win at the end of the day, but it's currently working. I think what I've learned is you need to be unapologetically yourself. You need to truly believe in yourself, number one. Number two is you need to be able to block out the noise and focus on what really matters. So, there's a lot of distraction out there. There's a lot of people in your ear. A lot of people want to tell you what to do. You need to have horse blinders on, stay focused, stay narrow on making the best product for your customer and doing what's best for you. The third thing is mentors are important, and mentors don't need to be physical people. Mentors could be through books, through social media accounts. People share their wealth of knowledge all the time through
Mm-hmm.
these different outlets or different literatures. And I think that that's super, not used enough by entrepreneurs. You don't need to necessarily call somebody and say this. If you read a biography on somebody, you'll understand how these people fought through crazy times of their lives, how they got through things, the resilience, the this, the that. Or if you go on social media, you'll see how people building out loud how their journey is, what they're going through. And that is the type of mentorship. So I think those three key points are really important for any entrepreneur out there. And failure is not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Giving up is different than failure.
Yeah, that's some great tips, man. It's very different and refreshing to hear. Usually it's like, like Mark, I mean, respect to Mark Cuban, he would just like follow your dreams, but that's like, that's not enough. I needed something a bit more. And that's
Oh
like
yeah.
true what you said. So that's incredible. Going into like midday squares, like where do you guys see yourself in, a year from now? Like what kind of like, what's your vision?
I think our goal is we're on the road right now, focused on, we call it the road to 100 million in revenue, and that's our focus for the next 2.5, 3 years is to get to that 100 million mark, and while doing it while being authentic to ourselves and staying true to ourselves, but also building a fan base and a brand that's really relevant and meaningful to consumers. And I think that that's the vision, that's the clear focus we have right now, and our heads down till then.
Yeah. Yeah, that's incredible, man. I mean, it's interesting too. Like you mentioned Shark Tank earlier. That whenever I watch Shark Tank, I mean, you're always inspired after that show. You know, it's like it's just incredible what people can do, and that's amazing. So, any kind of tips and advice you have for? By the way, you're the first business-based host on this podcast. So kudos to Jake. It's always been like artists, celebrities, actors, whatever. So
I love that.
welcome,
I love
welcome.
that.
Yeah, welcome. But yeah, any kind of tips and advice you have for like, um, young entrepreneurs or someone who's really creative and has that passion, that passionate drive to succeed forming their own company?
I think the most important thing is you need to have the ability to withstand pressure and deal with pressure at a very high level. Entrepreneurship is a very lonely road. You're misunderstood. People aren't going to believe in you. It's a lot of stress and pressure, and it's not always fun. So learning how to actually embrace that and get through it is super, super important. And at first, I want to throw the towel in so many times, but when you start to go through those moments and you keep building stronger and stronger, eventually you realize whoever could stay in the pocket the longest and deal with the most amount of pressure is going to be the winner at the end of the day, whatever winning means to that person. And yeah, that's what one of my mentors gave me, was whoever lasts the longest and can deal with the pain is the most successful.
Ooh, yeah, man. That needs to be a shirt. You need to put like midday squares and in the back, put the quote.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So this is Jake Karls. Thank you so much. Check him out. Midday Squares. Go follow him on social media. Follow him on LinkedIn. Follow him anywhere, guys. It's super inspiring. Make sure to go grab some Midday Squares. I you can find them at Target, Whole Foods, right? I mean,
Yeah,
they're kind of everywhere.
Whole Foods, Sprouts. You got a bunch of other retailers, Foxtrot, Erewhon. You got everything. All these amazing retailers. Fresh Time, Fresh Market. Again, always in the refrigerated section. That's where the bar is. It's not located in the bar section, refrigerator.
Yes. Yeah. We have I'm in New Orleans, so we have a fresh market here. So I found them there as well. So super unique, man. Yeah. Come to New Orleans, man. We'll show you guys a good time. It's a big
I'm happy. When
party
I
city.
come, you're my first text message.
Yeah, for sure, man. All right, y'all. Jake Karls, thank you so much for joining me, man. Hope to talk soon. Wish you the best of luck. You're killing it. And yeah, man, take care.
Appreciate you, brother.